Fabrizio Romano came in with this 24 minutes ago, saying Thomas Partey set to leave as a free agent at the end of the month. Story from last week has been confirmed. Obviously, Romano's at the forefront of everything that came out on Thursday last week. That just wasn't looking like he was going to stay at Arsenal beyond the season he just had. He says that Arsenal have already activated options to replace Thomas Partey, with Norgaard talks ongoing with Brentford. So, if you missed that, you wouldn't have. Of course, it was covered here on AFTV, but if you did, this is what Fabrizio Romano said, that Arsenal submitted a proposal worth 11 million euros. If Zubimendi gets an injury, if Zubimendi can't play for whatever reason next season, and we bring Norgaard in, the same, like I said, it's all circumstantial. So the critique that maybe some people hold now, which is we've downgraded our midfield options, Partey, we should have paid Partey what he's worth because ultimately it's about quality being there, then without Zubimendi and bringing in Norgaard, all those points would be quite fair. Now, I think Norgaard's a good player. I think he's a good player. But Partey and Jorginho are top number 6s on the ball. Declan Rice is very good on the ball, better than people think, but doesn't have that same, I don't want to use the word guile, but you get what I'm trying to say about what Jorginho and Partey have that Rice doesn't. And by the way, I think Rice is brilliant in that area of the pitch, just maybe not quite as good as them, but the question isn't about whether Rice can do that, it's about whether Norgaard can. I had a very quick look at his FBref numbers, and you can't judge it too much, but it looks at how he is compared to other midfielders in the Premier League for this last campaign, and his passing numbers were poor. Like, it gives you the percentile ranking, so it gives you a good idea for how green the bar is, how big and green the bar is, basically tells you how highly he ranks for some pretty crucial stats on the passing front, on the ball front, and it's pretty disappointing. So, what is he? He's more of a jeweler, Norgaard. He's more of a physical presence that, to be fair, is probably more in the mould of what Arteta wants in that position than even Jorginho and Partey. Norgaard probably eats up ground a little bit better, but then Partey was better at that last season than I think people gave him credit for. So, there's so many different things to consider. Ultimately, I think it comes down to this. Arsenal and Partey couldn't agree on terms. I don't think Berta maybe setting a standard this summer, and Arsenal looking to readdress the balance of the squad and the hierarchy with pay and all that. Arsenal probably going, we are not going to be, I don't want to use the word bullied, but they're not going to be forced into a deal they don't really want to do. So they've gone and got a Norgaard, which some people might complain about, but is that the kind of player that is a dependable Premier League backup? Sure. That fits what Arteta wants from his midfielders? Absolutely. Who won't demand a crazy transfer fee or command a crazy transfer fee, demand a crazy salary, and is happy to be a number 2 and can maybe actually be used in midfield in a few different ways with Zubimendi. The word sensible comes out, right? But Zubimendi, while I think a great signing that people are really overlooking, is a standout to what is a sensible signing with Kepa, a sensible signing with Norgaard, if that happens. It's not Partey versus Norgaard, it's Partey versus Zubimendi, and then it's Jorginho versus Norgaard. Now, I think you can safely say that while on the ball, Jorginho is still terrific. Look at the minutes he played. Norgaard is the better player today. So we've maybe upgrading our backups. The question is, are we better for having Zubimendi than Partey? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. But that's what I think is really, really interesting about all this. And if that's the route we've gone down to ultimately spend 80 million on Rodrigo and 65, 70 million on Gyökeres, then I can absolutely live with that and say it's probably smart business, as is the Kepa one. But let's wait and see.